Hello, this is Randy Kirk, and you are at Small Business Daily. This is the place where small business people come to hear about approaches and methods that might help your business to grow and prosper. We have been talking about Elon Musk. Elon Musk clearly is the number one entrepreneur of our age and maybe the best entrepreneur in history. And he's works with a set of principles in his life. He has very strong and clear ideas about how to build a business. And he's obviously been very successful with it with companies like PayPal and Tesla and SpaceX and Neuralink and the Boring Company. His list of successes makes everybody else pale in comparison. And as a result, he's now the richest man on the planet. I realized a couple of years ago that this guy had something special. And so I wrote a book about him called The Elon Musk Method. If you're interested in it, you can look down below and get a link and you could purchase a copy. And in that book, I talk about the 16 things that I discovered by reading everything I could find that Elon Musk had ever said. The 16 things that I discovered that drive him, that cause him to be as successful as he is. And we've been going through that list here, not exactly the same list, because since I wrote it, I've come to some new conclusions and I've recognized some new things. So we've been going through a total of 10, and we've done 6 so far. If you want to look back, you can always, you could actually end up subscribing to the channel, or you can go to the channel and you can see all of the previous episodes that we've already done. We started off with 6 on how to sell, and then we've done 6 on Elon Musk's methods, his approaches to being successful in small business. You can look those up, and then we will be doing 4 more starting today. If you like what I'm talking about right now, if you think this is valuable, would you push the like button? That'd be a great help to me. And then I've already mentioned you might want to subscribe to the channel. It makes it easier for you to find content, both content that we've already done in the past. And then if you forget to check us for a while, a week from now, you could just check the channel and see what we've done since you last watched. Then the other thing you might do, you could push the notify button, and that would get you right back to where we would be sending you a notification letting you know that a new episode has been put up. All right, so we're Small Business Daily. Could I mention one more thing before we get into the meat? We've also created a website. Some of the things that you're dealing with right now in your small business, you can't wait for me to get to that subject matter in order for you to really be able to contemplate how you might solve the problem or how you might take advantage of the opportunity. So we've also created a website. The website is called freebusinesshelpnow.com. So there's tons of free information on that website about how to hire, how to fire, how to manage employees, how to motivate employees, stuff about how to manage salespeople. That's a completely unique category of human that you need to try to manage if you have a growing business. If you hire salespeople, they are very different in terms of how you manage them. There's, how to do cash flow, how to get more cash, how can you borrow, loan, do stock offerings. The list is very, very long of the subject matter that we've already covered on the website, and we will be adding to that website every single day, hoping that you can get the content that you need to make your business stronger and better. And in fact, if you have content that you want to recommend that we put up, by all means, get in touch with the contact information that's on the website, or put a comment below. Randy, how come you haven't covered this yet? So we're going to be talking today. Yesterday, we talked about communication. Communication is something that sometimes we think of it as only outgoing. How do we communicate with our clients? How do we communicate with our prospects? How do we communicate with our family members? But let's remember, communication is a two-way street. And a critical and unbelievably important part of communication is listening. And Elon Musk is noted. He is known for the fact that he is a great listener. He is not just someone who talks a lot about what he knows. He wants to know what you know, and he listens carefully to what you have to say. This is a developed skill. Most individuals, most salespeople, most business owners, this is actually a skill they probably do already have, but it is something that you can definitely get stronger at. One of the ways that I recommend to people that they get better at the listening idea is that when you're having a conversation with another person, think of it almost like an interview. So as opposed to you telling them all about yourself and about your business and about what you can do for them, or about what your background is, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, how about interviewing them as if they were on your show and you needed to let your audience know all about this individual? If you can dig deep down inside and ask them questions about themselves, about their background, about their business, about what their needs are right now, about what they're excited about, what they're challenged by, then as you get to learn more and more about them, and if you empathize with them by responding back to the things that they're talking about, then they're more likely to be interested in you when you start to talk about how you might be able to pair up with them, partner up with them in any way, shape, or form. Every new relationship that you make has potential for being a friend, has potential for being a really deep friend, has potential for being a business supplier, has potential for being a business customer, has the potential for just being an acquaintance that might be useful downstream, somebody that you might recommend to someone else in the business or in the company that they work for. So every single new relationship, especially business relationship you make, is something that can be going into the Rolodex in your mind. Remember Rolodexes? Actually, they're still out there, but you have the Rolodex in your mind. You have the database that you're creating. You have the contact list, the emails and phone numbers that you're creating. Every new person you meet has the potential to be helpful to you, and you have the potential to be helpful to them in some way. The way that we find out whether or not we can be helpful to one another and how deeply this relationship might go is by how carefully you listen to what they have to say. You can't possibly know what you can do for another person. In the sales environment, a lot of times we pitch our product before we ask the person what it is that their needs are with regard to the product or service that we want to talk about. If you haven't found out what their needs are and how that colors what it is that you might say about your product, and I don't just mean, the no spin zone of old. No, we're not talking about how you're going to spin your product to fit their need, but it may turn out that your product doesn't fit their need. And it may be that you can recommend a different product, which is going to make them know, like, and trust you better, make them more likely to want to do business with you in the future, or send someone over to you who your product or service is perfect for. So this is it's a listening process. Whether we're on the phone, whether we're doing texting, whether we're doing any kind of communication online, or whether we're face-to-face, someday again, that'll happen after COVID. When we're face-to-face, it doesn't matter how the communication process is taking place. The more you listen, the better you're going to know how, when, where this particular individual may be useful to you in the future, or you could be useful to them. Now, this is not just true of a brand new relationship. This is also true of ongoing relationships. When you are calling a client, when you're calling a customer, or when they're calling you, when they walk into your store, whether this could be a family member, it could be a friend. Once again, if you're doing a lot of listening, it turns out, there's actually a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is a classic book. I'm gonna link it down below. We're gonna put that in the links. You can just click on that, take you straight to Amazon, and you can purchase it. It is one of the big time classics of all time with regard to how to improve yourself personally to become a better friend, a better supplier, a better partner, a better boss, is all about the listening process. How to Win Friends and Influence People spends chapter after chapter after chapter discussing the ways that you can become more adept at hearing what it is that the person you're talking to is interested in. And that is going to make them like you better, trust you more, and be more likely to want to do what it is that you want them to do, or to be able to explain to you in detail and in a way that is transparent what it is that they're hoping to hear from you. So just to wrap it up, this concept of listening is one of the things that Elon Musk talks about all the time, and how important it is for him to listen to in particular, his employees, the top level and even mid-level employees that he's working with to develop new things. So critical for him to listen. When he is working on something brand new that he's never done before, how important it is for him to listen to the experts so that he can become more expert. When he is dealing with an interview war on television or on some kind of a channel, some kind of YouTube channel, to where he's listening to the question. If you'll watch him in interviews, how carefully he listens to the question, how completely and thoroughly he answers the questions that the interviewer is asking him. So again, I just want to say that this is a methodology, a tool, a skill set that you as a business owner or as a salesperson can learn and become better at. By paying attention to the fact that it's important, is the skill of listening and how that impacts communication with those who you are doing business with. So that's where we're going to finish up today with regard to the details. And tomorrow we're going to get into another subject matter that is kind of a surprising one for the guy who's the richest guy in the world, and who many are calling a combination of Edison and Newton, and they just pile on the compliments because of the things he's accomplished in only 49 years on this planet. Elon Musk is a very humble man. We're going to talk about the power of humility in terms of you becoming more successful in your business. That'll be tomorrow. So we want you to be sure to check in. And the fastest way that you can make sure that you're going to remember to hear that talk is going to be to push the notify button. I've never thought about it before. I'm not sure if you can push the notify button before you push the subscribe button. I think you have to subscribe first and then notify. And then if you think what we just talked about, if you think that this whole question of listening and how it impacts your ability in life to be more successful, then would you push the like button? And that'll help out a lot if you push that like button. So once again, I do want to mention to you about our new website, and that is the free businesshelpnow.com. I'd love for you to go to the website, check it out. I'd also like you to potentially make sure that you make some comments down below. You might want to comment about listening. Are you a good listener? Do you think you're a good listener? Do you think others think that you're a good listener? This is a big question, because I know that I believe about myself that I'm a good listener. Sometimes I'm not sure, because I am a very big talker. I'm not sure whether others think I'm a good listener or not. I don't know how important that is, but maybe it is important to be thought of as someone who listens carefully, who is responsive to the things that people are saying. So that's going to wrap it up today. This is Randy Kirk with Small Business Daily, and look forward to talking to you tomorrow.